Once upon a time. Welcome to Australian Book Lovers, your destination for imagination.
Australian Book Lovers acknowledges First Nations peoples and recognises their continuous connection to country, community and to culture. We pay our respects to elders past, present and emerging, and honour the sharing of traditional stories passed down through generations. We're committed to a safe and inclusive welcome for authors and readers of all cultures and backgrounds, including people of LGBTQIA+ communities and their families. A big warm welcome to everyone and a huge thank you for joining us for the Australian Book Lovers podcast. Our mission is to bring fabulous Australian and Indigenous literature that spans a whole range of genres to book lovers around the globe, as well as fantastic resources and information for passionate authors looking to write their next bestseller. I'm Veronica Strachan, aka V.E. Patton, fantasy, sci-fi, memoir and picture book writer, voracious reader of many genres, your founder and co-host, coming to you today back in Wurundjeri Woiwurrung country for episode 174.
Welcome back. It's so
Thank you.
good to see you back in the old digs, but we have to talk about your fabulous trip. How amazing was your drive around Australia?
It was amazing. A whole 12,000.
Introduce myself.
Yeah, introduce yourself. Yeah, tell everybody
I'll
who
get
you are
into
first.
Okay. I'm Laurie Bell, science fiction and fantasy author, flash fiction writer, short story writer, bits and bobs and all sorts of in-betweens and the occasional reviewer and your co-host for today, coming to you from our usual spot of Wurundjeri Woiwurrung country as well, and it is freezing this week.
It's so bitter. It is absolutely freezing. And, you know, we came from, we got up as far as Exmouth in WA and shorts and T-shirt weather, you know, the water really warm and the Ningaloo Reef and all of that. And
Yes.
then, you know, came back to like, you know, -3 and, you know, frost an inch deep on the windscreen before you can get in the car to go to work. And
Yep.
yeah,
Foggy till lunchtime, which is
foggy
always
till
a
lunchtime.
good feel.
Yes.
Yep.
But I tell you what, the best thing was this beautiful country that we live in. You get out of the city or out of the town or out of your house, the skies are so big and the country is so beautiful, and trees or not trees if you're on the Nullarbor, and, you know, going up the coast, low trees versus back in Victoria, big old gnarly gum trees, you know, birds and wildlife and the colours, the sort of dusty eucalypts and the skies. It's just, everything was so big, and it just reminds you that a lot of the rubbish that you put up with is just exactly that. It's just not important because you're a very small part of this incredible ecosystem or whatever you like to think. And it just relaxes you, I think, because nothing you can do about it. Nothing you can do about the weather or
the car breaking down.
or the car breaking down or anything like that. So, yeah, it's just, that's it.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you'll have so many great descriptions that you can use in books going forward as well for actually
Absolutely.
getting out there and being in nature.
Yes. And look, the hilarious thing, because we went through Kalgoorlie, we went Kalgoorlie on the way up. And when I got back, I was looking for a new audiobook, and Fleur MacDonald, who I think is mostly a romance writer, but she's written this crime one based in Kalgoorlie where a couple of grey nomads roll their caravan, and I'm going, oh my God, I've been on that road. I know what she's talking about. We've been to Kalgoorlie. I know those streets. And timing. Yeah, thanks a lot, Fleur. It was a great book. I listened to the audiobook, by the way. So, yeah, great book, Fleur MacDonald. So, yeah, timing.
Oh, wow.
Timing is
Nice.
everything.
Nice. that's how you want to do it.
Yes, yeah, and Ian has curated his photos down to about 600
Oh,
decent ones that
wow.
he's possibly going to put in a in a book or whatever. But anyway, we'll see how we go. So yeah, lovely holiday. So sorry to everybody who was a bit slow getting back to them, but I think I've caught up now. All the books are listed. We're approaching the 1,000 books on the website. It's just
Wow,
amazing.
goodness.
Yeah, really, and so many. I was looking back over the 174 episodes, so many fantastic authors that we've
Yeah.
chatted to, and really only a
Yes.
handful have we spoken to more than once. Sometimes we've, thrown them into panels,
So,
which is brilliant, like the Sydney Authors Inc.
mm.
Authors, they were great. But, it's just amazing. It is lovely to be back and
Yeah.
so good to be talking books with you, Laurie.
Yes, I tell you, after a tough work week, it's fabulous to just be talking about the things we love.
Rather than the things you have to do, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, basically. And I have to say, I will do a little shout out. Hey, Ross, if you're listening, one of my work colleagues has been a big fan of my books
Yeah.
for the time I've been at work, and he
Yeah.
has purchased each and every book that I've released, and he's just a charmer, and he has now bought my whole so far full series of the Stones of Power. So he's got books 1 to 4, and he started on that this week.
Ooh.
And it's just fabulous getting feedback from someone who you work with, and then they just turn around and go, "Oh, by the way, that was really good."
Yeah.
So yeah, so that's been a nice little highlight of my week so far.
Yeah, that is
Yeah.
brilliant.
Mm.
Yeah, I
So
mean, because I love the Stones of Power. Because I remember when I started reading them, and I thought, because I'm not always a YA fan. They
mhm,
have to
mhm.
really grab me. But it wasn't until I started reading yours, I thought, why didn't I start this earlier? This
They're
is
so
so
much fun.
good.
They are so much fun, and
They are so
I
much
am
fun.
so excited that book five's done. It's with the publisher. I'm
Yes.
just waiting now for everyone else to catch up and find out how it ends with me.
Yeah. Yeah, bring it on. Bring it on.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
We'll be waiting for that and marketing and publicizing the
yes.
fabulous last book, The
Well, I
Stones of
even
Power.
said to Ross, you know what? It's fantastic to let an author know by a review, and he did put up a review this week.
Oh,
Made
excellent.
sure he let me know. So
Go
good on you,
Ross.
Ross. You're a keeper.
Excellent. Definitely. And yeah, that is lovely that, people now at work go, oh, not only does Laurie great at her job, but she's also writes great books.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no, we
So no,
love your books.
it's been a nice little week for that. So, but anyway, we should talk about other things such as
And who you
Mhm.
are speaking to, who the interview
Yes.
is this
Oh
week.
my gosh, I had so much fun talking to Bridie Blake, who is the author of a very fun romance. And of course, it's going to completely slip my mind because I've read a few in the last week. So I apologize. I'm going to jump the boyfriend clause. Oh my God. Seriously, this was such a fun book, and it was great catching up with Bridie. So, The Boyfriend Clause, if you like a good comedy that is romantic or a romantic that is very funny, you need to get onto this one. So, hopefully you will enjoy my chat with Bridie today.
That's good. Now, as well as having an interview with Bridie Blake, we've
Mhm.
got a slightly different news segment
Mhm.
today. So
Oh,
let's go to the
the
news.
news.
We have some fabulous news, and not only will we be sharing some news, but we'll also have a quick chat with Bernadette Eden, who is the events manager for Romance Writers Australia and their Queens of the Desert Festival, which is their annual festival, which is absolutely brilliant. I know a lot of our romance writers go to these because it's not only great for romance writers but for writers in general. So I'm not going to say any more about that. We'll slip Bernadette's chat in here. But in the meantime, I was also on my travels went to
Mhm.
Dimboola, which was
Mm.
lovely. It was so lovely to be back in Victoria. And I spoke with Joe and Gav at the Dimboola Vintage, which, I love a bit of junk and I'm at the Dimboola Vintage. And Gav had on a steampunk festival. And I said, hey, is that coming up? He goes, oh, no, we had it this year, but we've got one in 2027. So they had about 2,500 people rock up to Dimboola to the Steampunk Festival, which they'd originally put together as a sort of a community thing after COVID to bring people together. And a whole lot of people from all over the place turned up because the COVID restrictions were down. So they put it on again and got more people. And so they're putting it on in 2027. And keep your eye out for the Wimmera Steampunk Festival. It is in Dimboola. And go and talk to Joe and Gav. I went and also spoke with James at the Imaginarium. So that was lovely. So, and James had just been visited by Warren Rankin, who had just put his book 15 Feet Tall up on the website. So I only missed them by minutes. So it was kind of a sliding doors moment. And so if you can actually go and stay at the Imaginarium. It's a beautifully restored place down in Dimboola, and it's got Airbnb and that kind of thing. So get ready, get your glasses and your top hats and your mechanical bits and pieces sorted for next year up in Dimboola. So the Wimmera Steampunk Festival, which is fantastic. Yeah. Very good. Do you have some news before we jump into the chat with Bernadette?
I did. I just wanted to remind authors and illustrators and basically every creative and anyone who believes in creatives getting paid for their work. The ASA have got an open letter that they are urging the Australian government to protect the rights and prevent our country's rich cultural heritage from being traded away to big tech, which we've discussed before. But anyway, they have an open letter that is available to sign. So I've signed it. I know a bunch of other authors have signed it. So jump on, sign the open letter, and support writers and creatives and artists and musicians and just all of those who actually create for a living.
Yes.
So I want
to do that, definitely, because there's power in numbers, and we are still a democracy, and politicians do listen to the numbers matter, really. So get yourself out there and get your voice heard. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Beautiful. All right.
That was my big reminder. So there you
go. Good
go.
reminder. Yes. Let's jump into the quick chat with Bernadette Eden. Listeners, this is a very special news segment. We've got live news, we'll say, reporting from the Romance Writers of Australia. And I've got with me Bernadette Eden. Hello, Bernadette.
Hello, Veronica. Thanks for having me.
You are most welcome. It's always good to hear firsthand. And Bernadette, tell me, whose country are you on today?
I am on beautiful Ghana in South Australia. Yeah.
Lovely. And it's as cold as it is in Victoria. I am absolutely sure. Yes, for sure. All right. But this is a new segment to warm your heart because you are the events manager from the Romance Writers Australia. Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah. Fantastic. And we got a little note from Issy to say, could we share what's going on? And we're always happy to share, where writers can get together and do lots of things. So tell us a little bit about the next conference that RWA is doing.
I would love to. So Romance Writers of Australia have our annual conference every year in August. And this year starts on Friday the 21st of August and goes through to Sunday the 23rd. And we are in Darwin for the first time, which will be amazing. We have our theme. Every year we have a theme, and this year's theme is queens, like queens of the desert. So
love that.
As we welcome, all our queens. We're all queens, all writers are coming to Darwin this year. It is a jam-packed program. We've got, coming from overseas, we've got Jane Friedman, who is an amazing expert on book publishing in the indie world and the trad world. And we've got Alyssa Cole, who is sort of genre-bending romance and writes contemporary and sci-fi and fantasy and even does graphic novels. Jane Friedman is going to be doing a Friday workshop called Author Platform Intensive, where you can find out everything about how to do your brand, how to sort of present yourself in the author world. And our other VIPs are actually homegrown superstars. So we've got Rachel Johns, who is an award-winning and best-selling author. And she's also doing a Friday workshop, which is how to write a breakout novel. And I think that's going to be fantastic, because if anyone knows how to write a breakout novel and connect with their readers, it's Rachel Johns. But our other VIPs, we've also got Jodie McAllister, who is a romance scholar and just has her latest rom-com come out. And then finally, we've got T.L. Swan, who is also a best-selling author and has sold millions of copies of her book worldwide. So there's something for everyone. It's going to be a jam-packed 3 days, and that's just the workshop so far.
Yes, stellar lineup. So that is brilliant. And all of the romance writers that we talk to talk about the RWA conferences and how helpful and what a fantastic community the writers are. So, so how many do you expect at the conference?
We will hopefully get up to 300 people. We normally like to get about 300 members there to give it a really nice feel, but it really is a community event. Like, it's wonderful when you get there and you can see all these people sort of like seeing each other for, again, for the first time in 12 months. And it's really exciting. But at the same time, for anyone who's thinking of coming for the first time, we really look after our newbies. We call them newbies, and we have a newbie guide who helps anyone coming to conference for the first time, because it can be quite overwhelming to enter that sort of space for the first time and be like, oh, my God, this is a lot. But, we're really conscious of welcoming new people in and making sure that they have a good time. We've got lots of social events as well. Like, always on the Friday night, we have our themed cocktail party. And that will go along with, so it would be a dress up. So this year's theme is Queens. On the Saturday night, we have our awards dinner, which is a sort of really fancy gala dinner. And then we've got other like networking events. So we have our newbie drinks, we have our queer beers, and just general networking all through the weekend. It's probably the networking and the meeting with people, I think, is really the icing on the top of conference.
Yeah, fantastic. And, of course, beautiful Larrakia country, and Darwin is great. They know how to party up there in Garamella, so for sure. So it was really lovely to see that you mentioned on the website welcoming writers of all romance genres, because it's not just the rom-com, it's not just the happily ever after anymore. There are so many. There's, romantasy, and you've got, as you mentioned, Alyssa Cole, her beautiful works, and speculative fiction, and romance it's a seller. People just gobble it up.
Yes. It's actually fantastic the way it's widening. And I must say, we still have people who have turned to, like, they're crime writers now, but they keep coming back to conference because you can still get so much out of the workshops and the meeting of people. And I think it's fantastic how we're just sort of, romance is moving into such a more diverse world. Like, even one of our workshops is how to write queer characters into your romance by Darcy Green and Anna Cowan. So I just think there's something for absolutely everyone, every genre at conference. Yeah.
Yep, fantastic. All right. Bernadette, tell us, where can people find more information about the conference?
Yeah, I think if you head to romanceaustralia.com and under the events page there, you'll see all about it. That will take you to the conference page, and you'll be able to dive into all the details through there.
Fantastic. All right. And I do love the history of it. It was just 8 authors sitting around in Sydney deciding they'd get together.
Oh, amazing. Like 8 women just going, let's do this. And I think their first conference, who did they have at their first conference? But they sort of just pulled it together on the smell of an oily rag sort of thing, and then had to run out and grab some sandwiches and stuff. And then now here
you are. Yeah, that is
it is extraordinary.
Brilliant. Yeah, fantastic. All right, well, I hope it goes off like a rocket, and there are lots of happily ever afters, or maybe happily for now is the other thing that we should be doing. And we'll keep reminding readers for the next couple of episodes to, jump on and get your tickets. You can obviously get it for one day or the whole day, or just some events, some workshops.
You can. So you can buy a core conference ticket, which takes in Saturday and Sunday, and you also get an entry to the cocktail party, or you could just buy the Friday workshop. Or you can buy a separate ticket to the gala dinner. It's up to you.
Fantastic. Bernadette Eden from Romance Writers Australia. Congratulations on putting together a wonderful event, and I hope you sell every single ticket. Thanks for your time.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thanks, Bernadette. That was lovely to hear all
Yeah.
about the workshops and all of the people. And jump on Romance Authors and have a bit of a look and get all of those bits and pieces. Get your tickets in early. If you're going up there, up to the beautiful Larrakia country, Garamilla, which is Darwin. I have been up there. I did go up there for a conference. It was a health conference, so it was a little bit different. But yeah. They know how to put on a conference up in Darwin. It is really good. So, and yet the Romance Writers Conference, Queens of the Desert.
And you can just imagine the fun that they're getting up to with a little
Absolutely.
drinky and talking about romance.
Absolutely, because it's all about happily ever after.
Yep, absolutely.
Oh.
Now I do want to very quickly throw in a little chat just about a workshop that I did a couple of weeks ago by one of our own fabulous authors, Alan Baxter. So I did that through the Queensland Queensland Writers. Name escapes me at the moment. Queensland Writers, jump onto the website. But Alan was doing a talk about writing fighting. So for all of you authors out there who love a good fight scene or who write your action dramas or have incidents occur and there's a fight start or whatever the situation is, I absolutely suggest you get along to one of Alan's talks that he does in this topic. He is a trained fighter himself. He is very, very engaging, very great listening to his stories. He's a great speaker, but the information that he has in the workshop was a lot I knew vaguely and had some general ideas of. Having it put into clear author terminology, if that makes sense, and really understand what makes a fight and what doesn't make a fight, or in his case, what breaks you out of a fight where you think, that's just not realistic. Absolutely fabulous. So I really got a lot out of that, and I'm actually going to quote a little bit of it later on in our little quote section at the end, but I'm going to do a shout out to Alan Baxter. He's got his books on sale at the moment. Jump on. He's got some great horror, great Australian books, and also the book that he was talking about, which is I'm going to say this wrong. Okay, so he has a book called Write the Fight Right.
Oh.
Which
Excellent.
I say get your hands on. So I've got a copy of it on my Kindle. Alan is wonderful. He will chat to you if you email him through. But look, he's got the right information when it comes to a good fight. What makes a good fight? What doesn't make a good fight? And it's he's a great speaker. I completely recommend it, and you should absolutely support Alan and his books. He's got he's got a giant kangaroo horror. Yes. Who's not going to love that?
He has, yeah. I heard him. He spoke at one of the original and went to a workshop of his at one of the original Speculate festivals,
amazing.
Pre-COVID, and he was very good then.
Yeah, he's fantastic.
Very generous with his time.
Exactly. So his books, The Gulp, Hidden City, which I've got a copy of. That's freaky as all. It's very scary. The Roo, which is the one about the kangaroo.
Yep.
Served Cold, Poured Fire, and Fire and Poured Forth. Oh, you're getting me with all the words today, Alan. I'm not able to spit them out right. But jump on and support Alan. I believe he's even in one of our podcasts way back when.
He is way back when, and I have read some of his books. Some of them are a little bit scary. I like a bit of horror, but maybe not.
He's pretty good with horror.
Yeah, he's very good with horror. And we've got some horror authors coming up in a few episodes. We're going to organise to chat with 3 horror authors. So that'll be great.
So yes, but particularly for authors who are listening who think, you know what, I could tweak a fight scene.
Yeah.
Write the Fight Right is his book, and I completely recommend it. It's a great read, and it really brings home a lot of the examples that he was
Beautiful.
talking about in his
Yeah.
presentation. So
Excellent.
there you go. That was my little shout out to Alan Baxter.
Good shout out. It's time for some book spotlights.
Yay. Kerr, I love Kerr. So Kerr has released a new one called Might Cry Later, and I'm there. Hey, I'm telling you, I'm right. That's been my day. Okay, so let me tell you a little bit about this rom-com. Meet Nora Byrne, overthinker, underachiever, champion vibes killer. Oh, after spectacularly blowing up her life, 21-year-old Nora Byrne retreats to the family home with little to show for herself but a shiny new autism diagnosis. But it's hard to process this news under the critical eye of her mother, who already treats her like the black sheep, and the rest of her less than understanding family. Worst of all, it's the week before Christmas, which means mandatory socialising with the neighbours, including Fran, her childhood best friend, last seen when she broke his heart. Again. Nora's only goal is to get through the interminable family dinners, awkward Fran encounters, and excessive holiday festivities without crying or throwing up or finding new ways to humiliate herself. But with her track record, it is not going to be easy.
That sounds like a hoot.
Doesn't it? Oh, I love Kay's writing. So Kay Kerr is an autistic author and a journalist. She is the author of several critically acclaimed books. They're so good, including the YA novels Please Don't Hug Me and Social Cue, and her work of adult nonfiction Love and Autism. She's widely published freelance writer and prominent voice in the Australian autistic community. She lives with her family on the Sunshine Coast in Queensland.
Indeed, it's probably much warmer up there. All right, book number 2 is My Invisible Battle with Multiple Sclerosis by Shruti Ghate. This is a memoir. Multiple sclerosis, or MS, doesn't wear a face that others can easily see. There is no bandage for numbness, no cast for fatigue, and no visible wound for loss of control. At 30 years old, Shruti Ghate's journey with MS began quietly. She had tingling sensations in her feet that turned into burning pain and numbness that never went away. Finally, after years of uncertainty, she was told the nerves in her brain and spinal cord were going through demyelination caused by the MS. It was a moment that marked the beginning of a long and unpredictable journey, one that was often filled with fear and confusion. Shruti is one of nearly 3 million people worldwide living with this debilitating condition. And in her book, she opens the door to the unseen reality of living with a degenerative condition that she says slowly changes everything. There were days I cried for the person I used to be. The grief was invisible, like the illness itself. So once known for her thriving IT career and endlessly busy schedule, she now finds herself, at just 42, living a life carefully balanced between therapies, medications, and the steady support of her carers. Her courage extends beyond physical endurance. Through writing, music, and reflection, she's transformed her pain into purpose, sharing her story so others living with invisible illness know they are not alone. Her story is not unique, and that's exactly why it matters. So a little bit more about Shruti. She is an IT professional, writer and devoted mother of 2, whose life journey has been defined by resilience, faith and quiet strength. With a successful career in IT, she's learned to balance logic and empathy, 2 qualities that also define her writing. Her professional life demands precision and problem solving, while her personal life, filled with love, laughter and learning, fuels her creativity. And as a mother of 2, she finds her greatest motivation in her children, who continually inspire her to see the world with renewed hope and curiosity. Whether she's working, writing, or simply enjoying quiet time with her loved ones, she believes that strength is built not in grand victories, but in the small, consistent acts of courage that carry us through each day. Through her book, My Invisible Battle, Shruti shares her belief that every challenge holds meaning and that perseverance can transform pain into purpose.
Book 3, The Case of the Hydegild Sacrifice by David Cairns. This is a historical mystery. Uncover the secrets history tried to bury in this entertaining adventure worthy of Sir Arthur Conan Doyle himself. The case of the Hydegild Sacrifice thrusts readers into the shadowy aftermath of one of America's darkest moments, the assassination of Abraham Lincoln in 1865. Join Major Gask and Errol Raitt as they unite with the Pinkertons to unravel the sinister secrets of the Hydegild Sacrifice, a case that threatens to shake the foundations of a nation still reeling from war. With unexpected twists, unforgettable characters, and haunting questions of justice and morality, this is a story that lingers long after the final page. The case of the Hydegild Sacrifice is perfect for fans of historical fiction, political thrillers, and courtroom drama. This is a gripping tale that blends high-stakes intrigue with razor-sharp suspense. Dare you journey back in time and step into the mystery. David Cairns, the author, is also the Baron of Finnevan, draws on a Scottish lineage reaching back to the 13th century and a lifelong passion for history to weave stories that feel startlingly real. With richly recreated settings, unforgettable characters, and conspiracies pulled from the shadows of the past, Cairns delivers a journey through history that grips from the first page to the last. Previously a technology entrepreneur, David uses extensive research to build a richness and authenticity into each novel. He's the author of the Hellet's Tale series, Downfall and Redemption, and the Findo Gask and Errol Raitt mystery series, The Case of the Immigrant Niece, The Case of the Wandering Corpse, and The Case of the Bell Eth Stone. So
there you go, which is the same characters there, which is lovely.
Yeah.
But of course, David's in Australia now, despite his Scottish heritage. I was reading his bio on his website. It is a little bit hilarious. He still celebrates Hogmanay and a few other bits and pieces that are particularly Scottish, which is gorgeous. Having a half Scottish husband, half Scottish, something like that. His dad is Scottish. All right. But the next book 4, is The Battle for Victoria Street by Gabiann Marin. And this is a middle grade as opposed to the Medusa effect, which we talked about last episode. So Victoria Street is a crossroads, like in those old stories of bushrangers and highwaymen. It's a place where everyone and everything crosses paths, a street right out of a fairy tale, I reckon. It's 1973 and 11-year-old Billy is living in the best street in the whole world, Victoria Street in Darlinghurst, Sydney. Billy can't imagine being anywhere else. But things are changing. Billy's neighbours are being forced out of their homes and scary people are patrolling the street trying to get everyone to leave. Without realising it, Billy, her family and her neighbours find themselves caught up in one of the most important public protests in Sydney's history. The battle for Victoria Street is their fight to save their homes and their way of life from destruction. Fantastic. All right. A little bit more about Gabiann. She is an award-winning children's author with over 12 professionally published fiction and non-fiction books. She has won or been shortlisted for several Australian and international writing prizes, including winner of the International White Raven Award for Writing of Importance in 2005 and the Atom Best Interactive Narrative Award 2017 for Kids Together Now. Her children's books are regularly featured on the Australian Premier Reading Challenge. Her latest historical children's novel, The Battle for Victoria Street, was released in 2024 by Scholastic as part of its award-winning My Australian Story series. There you go. Good on you, Gabiann. She is prolific, done extremely well.
I love it. So book 5, The Truth About Love by Mark Worthington, which is a non-fiction. We all want to find and keep love. Some of us may even become obsessed with finding true love, with our one and only soulmate. Yet this fairy tale experience seemingly eludes most of us. Why? And how can we improve our chances of discovering and keeping the wonders of love in our lives? There's so much more to love than what most of us currently understand. Many witness love through an outdated and inaccurate lens. Despite our best efforts, love cannot be controlled or created like we think it can. It controls us in ways we can't imagine and actively creates separations from loved ones as important steps on our journey to true love. This book debunks the soulmate mythology and sheds new light on how you can create a bulletproof relationship with the one you love. It's heartbreaking, the soulmate. Come on this advanced journey into the truth of love and discover what you were never taught but always needed to know. Your relationship with love will never be the same again. So, a little bit about Mark Worthington. So, he's the author of a series of dynamic books on the power of love and self awareness. After a series of relationship breakdowns, his pain led him to investigate how his own lack of awareness about love and its true role in his life had contributed to these experiences. What he found was so much more than he ever imagined or was shown. This groundbreaking book challenges everything we think we understand about love and what it wants us to know.
There you go.
There you go.
Yeah, such an amazing mix of books. Because now I'm going to give you some urban fantasy by the delightful Kevin Klehr. Now, there are two books that I'm going to share. First one is Midnight Angel. Dinner is overcooked. The guests haven't arrived. Luke is sitting alone at his dining table on New Year's Eve. He was hoping to romance Nathan, one of the people he invited for this intimate evening meal. As midnight draws closer, it seems an angel who has magically appeared in Luke's apartment is the only person to drink champagne and watch the fireworks with. But this angel has other ideas. He's about to grant Luke the New Year's Eve party he thought he wanted. All right. And that might sound a bit familiar. We had Kevin chatted about that on our Christmas special, but this is coming up for his regular expose on Book Spotlight. So his second book is called Three Ghosts, another urban fantasy. So every time a shooting star is scheduled, Arthur, Carol and Tim choose a house with the best vantage point to haunt, carefully making sure its residents are not home. But this time, Arthur recognises the decor. The furnishings belong to his ex-boyfriend, Alexander, a man he never got over. And judging by the happy snaps in the photo frames, Alexander lives with a new lover. Just as the ghosts settle in to watch the celestial event, the occupants return home early. Excellent. All right. So a little bit more about Kevin. He lives with his husband Warren in their humble apartment, affectionately named Sabrina, in Australia's own Emerald City, which of course is Sydney. Kevin's tall tales explore unrequited love in the theatre district of the afterlife, romance between a dreamer and a realist, a man escaping an abusive relationship on board an enchanted ocean liner, and a dystopian city addicted to social media. His urban fantasy, The Midnight Man, scored first place in the LGBT category of the Paranormal Romance Guild's Reviewer's Choice Award and won the fantasy category of the 2021 Gay Scribe Awards. It was also runner-up in the Rainbow Awards, while Winter Masquerade received an honourable mention. His first novel, Drama Queens with Love Scenes, spawned a secondary character named Guy, and many readers argue that Guy, the insecure gay angel, is the star of the Actors and Angels book series. In fact, Kevin had to suddenly include him in the sequel. So with his fictional guardian angel guiding him, Kevin hopes to bring more whimsical tales of love, life and friendship to his readers. Brilliant, and I am sure that he does. So there are 7 fabulous books of all sorts for lots of different readers.
I have to admit, I've just read another one of Kevin's books that I will be doing a review for shortly. Hilarious. So I must get on that. I've been telling myself I need to, speaking of reviews,
Yes,
and how good it is for people, but I just read Grayson's Magical Mishaps.
beautiful, yes.
Yes, Grayson.
That's the
that was
pink
a lot of
elephant
fun.
one, yes?
That is the pink elephant one. Yep. So I must get my review in so that I
Beautiful.
can jump onto my next Kevin Klehr book.
There you go. Now, if you are an author and you would like us to read your book blurb and a little bit about your bio, feel free to go to australianbookluvers.com/for-authors and submit the details for your book. Anybody who is Australian resident here may list their book for free, and we will post it on the website as soon as I can. I'm not promising quickly, but we'll post it on the website as soon as we can, and we will read it in Book Spotlights, and you might get on the front homepage, and we do a little bit of social stuff, which I did today. I did some posting of features of the week for 3 fabulous books. And look, we have such different books. So it was Tree Pose by Susan Rogers and John Rewson, Yoga Mat Mysteries, great series. It was the DIY Publishing Toolkit by the Community Publishing and
Yes.
Regional Australia Project, which was great. And we spoke to Alexandra Dane about that.
Yep.
And FIPOs, which was also we spoke to
So good.
Susan and John on a panel, and also One Suitcase, Two Pets and a Breakdown by Athena Martinez, and again so many beautiful books. So yes, if you are an author, jump on there, and if you're a reader, you need to get on, sign up to the
Jump
Book
on
Lovers
it.
newsletter
Yeah.
because we give away books all the time.
We
Thanks to our
do.
beautiful, generous authors and publishers.
Yep.
The next one, I'm very excited about the next ones. We've got Crimson in Quietus, which is a Sautiverse novel by the fabulous Eugen Bacon. So it's just absolute. The cover is just brilliant. I love it. And I did get a copy of that and to read, and it is an arc because I don't know if it's actually released yet. I don't know when it's coming out very soon, or is it just out? So that's beautiful. The Crimson and Quietus. We've got The Damned by Matt Rogers, and you need to read about Matt Rogers. This comes out in July 2026, so it's just coming out. Matt is amazing. He's this a basically prolific young Australian writer who's just gone on to do. Let me just tell you a little bit about Matt, because I thought, why have I not heard of Matt? He's one of the new breed of writers doing things differently. He wrote The Damned in real time, creating the book's character, setting a plot consistently every day last year. Even recorded his writing journey on his Instagram account, updating his followers daily with the new themes and ideas in the book. I mean, that is brave.
Yes.
There you go. And
yes, God, I change everything.
Yes, he's got top 10 bestsellers and all sorts of things. So that's the second book. We've got Chris Caneen's Rite of Spring, which has the most beautiful cover, which is, somebody says, thank the literary gods for Chris Caneen for the way they make desire dangerous again, the body luminous and shame impossible. Anyway, I won't go on for that. And the other one is For a Moment More by G.S. Johnson. So Greg's just written again a beautiful novel. So a novel that showed him a world at a time in history hadn't understood for a moment. More is an act of generosity as much as a tribute to lost friends. So yeah, that is brilliant. Beautiful. So 4 fabulous books that you can win simply by subscribing, and then you respond to either a silly or serious question that I put in the newsletter, and it's never hard, people. It's dead easy, and then I pick somebody or pick a response, and they get the book. Generally, these are 4 paperbacks, but sometimes we've just given away
There's been
one
audio.
ebook.
Yeah, there's been ebook. Yep.
Ebook and audiobooks, which is great. Sorry, yes, that was Stormbringer, which is fantastic, by Jeremy Cesar, which is good. I must read that series. That sounds really good. I'm madly into sci-fi at the moment. I did try and read some not sci-fi. Some lovely ones that look sort of contemporary, and mate, they were just too slow. I couldn't do it, and there was not enough action. If you're looking for action, there might be a book coming out later this year by my co-presenter.
Tell me more.
Tell you more, which is really good. There's lots of action. There's some big surprises. There's so many things thrown at poor Tony and Mate and Zach that it's a wonder that they survive. But of course they do, because that's the point of a series. They go on. But, how low can you go? How many things can the author throw at Tony Rendell, which is really good?
I try. There's a lot, but I'm sure there could be more.
There could be more. I'll see if I can find some more. Yes, so I'm having a lovely time. I've read it once, and now I'm going back to read it again because I whizzed through it so quick. It's like, page turner, page turner, page turner. And now that I'm reading it a little more slowly, I'm going, I missed that bit. Look at that bit. So yes, stay tuned, people. Laurie Bell.
I tell you, authors, get yourself some amazing beta readers, just like Veronica here, because the feedback is not only invaluable as an author, but also makes you feel so good when you've finished, and it's taken so long of your life to put together.
Yes.
So
yes, no matter what the AI
invaluable.
says, yes, it has, which is beautiful. All right, so stay tuned for that one. So Laurie and I will have our next books out this year.
Yay!
We will. We will. Yeah.
Let me tell you about my interview with Bridie, or I'm
How
not
about we
going to
do
tell
that?
you. How about we play the interview instead? Book lovers, I'm delighted to have with me today a debut author through Text Publishing, which is a wonderful publisher that's actually based in Melbourne. So
Mhm.
I'm just going to claim them as ours. I have the lovely Bridie Blake, author of The Boyfriend Clause. Welcome to the podcast, Bridie.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Oh, I'm so excited to have you. I had such fun reading your book.
Thank you so
Now,
much.
I'm coming to you today from Wurundjeri Woi country in Victoria. Where are you coming to us today from?
So I live and write on the land of the Wurundjeri people of the Kulin Nation.
Beautiful. You're, in fact, not too far, I think, from
I would imagine
from
so.
me.
We must be neighbours.
So I feel like we might be on the same train line. I don't know. Anyway,
Probably.
so listeners, I've got Bridie. Bridie lives and writes in Melbourne, Australia. She's a self-confessed daydreamer and consumer of reality TV who can sniff out chocolate like a bloodhound and will never turn down a coffee or the opportunity to listen to Taylor Swift. This is why I feel we're Melbourne
Yeah.
girls. Melbourne girls
We
together.
love
Oh my
it.
God. It's all about the coffee.
It is all about the coffee, my gosh.
So Bridie also writes stories with longing looks, swoony love interests, and a dollop of humour. And her novel, The Boyfriend Clause, that we're going to talk about today, was released this year in Australia and New Zealand via text publishing. So let me tell you about I have to read the blurb of this very
Go
funny
for
book.
it.
So, The Boyfriend Clause, Sabrina's new Melbourne cafe, her lifelong dream is struggling. Despite her exceptional baked goods and fabulous coffee. I need a coffee. Her love life isn't faring much better. She just keeps dating the wrong kind of guy. But the boyfriend clause in her loan agreement requires her to be in a committed relationship or pay back the loan in its entirety. That would mean losing the cafe. And what could be worse? Making up a fake boyfriend and accidentally giving him the name of the rude and brooding famous writer in her apartment block, the one she wildly insulted when he moved in. That's what. And when that leads to the rude and brooding writer joining her rambunctious family on a trip to England and a charade of perfect romance, Sabrina finds herself navigating a whirlwind of contradictory emotions, including an unignorable awareness of just how infuriatingly hot the insufferable writer is. But as the boundaries blur, one question looms. What or who is he writing about? So the boyfriend clause is everything you could ask for in a contemporary, totally relatable heroine, a steamy love interest, an offbeat family holiday, delicious pastries, and just enough spice to set your heart on fire. Bridie,
You
what a
nailed
book!
it. Thank you.
So tell me what inspired this
Oh,
particular plotline?
oh my goodness, so much. So I will say that that opening scene of mine was something that popped into my head. And the second that it did, there was zero chance that I was not going to follow that opening scene to see where we would land, because it is hands down my favorite scene of all time
It
that
is
I've
the most
written.
memorable. Yeah, it is
I love
definitely
it
the
so
most
much.
memorable I've read.
Yes. So I just thought it was hilarious. And look, we've all had those moments. We're just like, even if you're just desperately needing to go to the bathroom and you've got to race down the street. Like, we've all had those moments. And so yes, I thought, okay, we've got to tell this story. We do have to tell this story.
Absolutely.
Yes, yes. And then I think the rest of it. So I come from a really big family. I am one of 9 children. And so
My
growing up,
goodness.
yeah, I know, right? A little bit insane. One of
I was
9.
thinking 5, 6,
No.
maybe, but
One of 9.
okay.
There's a lot of us. There is a
Yeah.
lot of, yeah. And growing up, it was just chaos. And I loved every single second of it. Like, every conversation that we would have people chiming in all over the place. Like, it was just crazy. But it was the best kind of craziness, and I really just wanted to pay tribute to that. And so I kind of felt like putting in Sabrina's family, who are, a little bit chaotic themselves. It was my way of doing that. And it was just really special because I got to put in lots of little Easter eggs throughout this book for my family. And it's been really sweet seeing them read it and be like, oh my gosh, I remember this, or oh my gosh, that happened to me. And I was like, yes, I know. I have a good memory. I have remembered everything from our lives. So yeah, that was just really cool.
That's fantastic. No, I really
Yeah.
like that. So when you say it popped into your mind, something
Literally
must
popped
have been
in.
a trigger.
No, I would
No?
literally know that I never have triggers. I go out for walks. I walk
Mhm.
all the time. That is where I do all
Mhm.
of my best like brainstorming. That's where all of my ideas come to me, is when I'm out on a walk, and I probably would have been listening to some song. And it literally just popped into my head, and I was just like, oh my gosh, there's this girl. She's running for her life. Literally running for her life. She's not running from a killer, but she's running for her life. And it just played out in my mind like a movie. And when that happens to me, I know I'm on the right track with something. I'm like, okay, we've got a winner here.
That's amazing. Now, I know
Yeah.
that this is your debut book,
Mhm.
but how many books have you actually
A
written
lot.
over your time?
Oh, so many. So this
Yeah.
book is actually number 17. So
Wow.
I have been writing forever. Like my first novel I wrote when I should have been studying for my VCE exams. So I was sitting in my room writing books. And that was what I was doing because I was determined that I was going to be an author. Yeah, no, I was like headstrong. I'm like, no, this is so what I'm going to go and do. It just took me a really, really, really long time to get there. So it was about 20 years, 17 novels, and all of those novels had multiple drafts. So
Of
I was
course. Yeah.
committed to every single one of them until I realized they weren't good enough, and then I'd push them aside and move on to the next one.
Well, what we might actually mention that and talk about that a
Yeah.
little bit in the sense that how do we as authors know
Mm,
when something that we've written that is our baby, it's our
yeah,
special,
it
it's our little
is.
special friend,
It
is
is.
not good enough.
Oh, look, I will say for me, with time, it became a gut feel.
Hmm.
I am somebody who always listens to my gut with absolutely everything in my life. When I don't listen to it, something goes wrong. So I'm like, I always listen to it. But I will say in those early days, yeah, it was people telling me that my books were crap. So yeah, I
No.
would send them out and they'd be like, yeah, no, this is not good.
Mhm.
Yeah, I got feedback once that I honestly am surprised that I kept writing because it was brutal. Yeah.
I hear you there. I can
Yeah,
actually tick that box as well,
I feel
where
like we all can,
I
right?
think when you get that edit letter,
Yeah,
and I want to ask you about that too, but
yeah,
with certainly in my case,
yeah,
I was told you'll never be a writer.
yeah,
You
yeah,
might as well stop now.
yeah. It was
And
rough.
that's heartbreaking.
It is heartbreaking, and I think this is where, like, I was just so determined that this was what I wanted to do with my life that I just
Mhm.
kept going. Like, I look back now and I'm like, oh my gosh, you were like a precious bloody 20-year-old. You were just like, oh, I'm still going to do this. Um, that happened to me now. I'm like, I don't know that I would continue. But yeah, I
Yeah.
think just back then I was just dead set. Like,
Mhm.
this is my life.
Yeah.
I'm going to be an author. But oh, yeah, that was brutal.
It is quite a journey
Yeah.
I wrote my first book at 17. So
Yeah.
so I
And
hear you in a lot of these
yeah.
areas. I'm like, ooh, me too.
Yeah. 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 It can be really, really rough.
Well,
Like mine, it was a manuscript assessment that I sent mine off
yes,
for. And
yes.
I basically got told that, we can find a diamond in many, many works of fiction. We cannot find a diamond here. I was
Don't
like,
say it.
oh, oh, that just cut deep. I was just like, oh my gosh.
I
I
am
still
actually
remember
lost for
that.
words. Oh,
Yeah.
righty. I'm so
Yeah.
glad you did not listen.
Yeah. No. So I stuck with it. And I will say, like, I got better with each book. And so I think that, yeah. And whenever I would finish one and I would do my multiple drafts, I'd put it aside and then I'd kind of look at it and be like, yeah, no, there's no diamond here. Keep going. So yeah, it's just,
Case.
yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
I am my own harshest critic. Like,
Hmm.
I really, really am. Like, I didn't query all of those books. I
Hmm.
probably only queried maybe like two or three of them. Like, it was a
Oh, wow.
small handful. Yeah.
Okay.
Because I was just like, no, 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 you can do better. Keep going.
Hmm.
And I do think that the best way that we learn as writers is to work on the next thing. You
Yeah.
do get better with each book. You truly, truly do. I couldn't have written
And
the boyfriend clause 20 years ago, like at all.
so why actually, okay, so expand on that a little bit. So
Mm,
why do you think you have picked that diamond now, in the
mm.
sense of why couldn't you find that back then? Is it an experience thing? Is it just the
It,
journey?
yeah, I think it's experience. I also think it's a better understanding of storytelling.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I, over the past 20 years, have read everything that I can get my hands on. Like I read, I read, I read. I watch a lot of TV, I watch movies, and I really pay attention to story.
Mm-hmm.
And I just think that's been so invaluable. It's just been the best thing for me to do. And that has helped me hone my craft. I, didn't know what story beats were.
Mm-hmm.
Had no idea. I didn't know things were meant to have like a midpoint or, a inciting incident. I didn't know any of that stuff. I would
Mm-hmm.
like tell everything. I wouldn't show anything. It would be a book
Mm-hmm.
of dialogue. And so it really was just me like starting to read books as an aspiring writer and being like, oh, hold on, this is craft. This is
Mm-hmm.
good. If I
Yeah.
work hard, I can get to that point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I often feel like maybe I will never reach that point, but you know what? I've reached my point, so it's all good. Particularly when you're reading someone's work
Yeah.
and you just get so lost
Yeah.
in a description, or
Yeah.
in your case, I burst out
And
laughing.
that's all I want.
And that's exactly it. It
Yeah.
doesn't it's just a moment, isn't it?
It is a moment. And I think it's also important to find the genre where your voice really comes out. Like I was writing a lot of young
Yes.
adult, and it was a
Mm-hmm.
lot of like angsty young adult because I grew up on Dawson's Creek and watching The Bold and the Beautiful and Days of Our Lives. It was so, my stuff was so over the top and just melodramatic.
Mm-hmm.
And then during the pandemic, I just started reading a lot of rom-coms, and I was like,
Nice.
this feels like the way I talk. Like I
Mm-hmm.
feel like this is maybe where I need to hark. Like this might be it. So I gave it a shot and it worked.
It it absolutely
Yeah.
did.
Yeah. Haven't looked
So
back.
so for you, with writing the boyfriend clause, so you've written
Yeah.
quite a few novels.
Yeah.
How long did the boyfriend clause take you to put together?
Really not long at all.
Really?
Yeah, I draft pretty quickly. Again, that's years and years and years of practice. I think it took me many, many years to actually write like the first
Mhm.
novel. But I think, it made it maybe like 4 or 5 months to draft.
Okay.
Yeah. And while I was drafting, I was swapping chapters with another author. She
Okay.
was getting my first draft. Like literally,
Oh,
I would finish typing like the
off it
chapter and they'd be
goes.
like, off it goes. And again, that has just been the absolute best thing for my writing. And I
Mhm.
have no shame about sharing my first drafts with people. I just don't care at this point. I'm like,
Mhm.
off you trot. And so yeah, we were doing that. And so that was really helping me. And I think because I had that deadline, I was like, I have to get this to her because she's going to send me her chapter and I can't look bad.
Mhm.
And I'm such a people pleaser that I wanted her to, be like, oh my gosh, look at her go. She's so good.
Mhm.
And so yeah, that really helped me finish it quickly. And then I went through only like a couple of drafts before I sent it to my then agent. And we did like a really like it was really short, small, structural. Like there really wasn't much on it.
Okay.
So yeah, all in all, like that was actually a really quick process, the writing and the editing of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so you actually had your agent before you'd finished the book. How did that come
Yeah,
about?
so I signed with my agent before COVID. So before the pandemic on a young adult suspense. And so she was based over in the US
Mhm.
and pandemic hit and it was all this like it was a
Mhm.
nightmare over
Mhm.
there. My book died a very long, painful death on submission. A good 2 years we sat on sub.
Oh.
And yeah, it was around that time that I
Oh.
started writing rom-coms and she was totally on board with that. And so then I sent her this one. And yeah, we unfortunately we didn't sell it in the US. And then I was like, I want to send it out in Australia because Australia is where I actually want to be published. So
Yeah.
it took me a few years to realize that that was where my heart was. And
Mhm.
I wanted my characters to be Australian. I wanted my settings to be Australian. That
Mhm.
just became more and more important to me. So I sent it out here and it got picked up like so quickly, which is just
That's
a
amazing.
dream.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for
yeah.
sure.
That was, yeah, still pinch me moment. I still think about that and I'm like, did that actually happen?
Hmm.
I'm used to being ghosted. Like, did somebody responded? It was so cool.
As they say, it just takes that one,
It
doesn't it?
does.
The
It
one
takes
yes.
that one. It takes that
Mm.
one person like picking it up at the right time,
Yes.
and being
Yes.
in the mood for what you've
Mm.
sent. But yeah, there's so many factors that come into play.
And do you wonder then, because you write rom-coms, so
Mm.
a good laugh.
Yeah,
They are,
yeah,
it's a good comedy. It's a good laugh. Do you
yeah.
think since pandemic we have been into that, you know what, I just need
Mm,
to have fun. I just need to
absolutely.
chill with my romance, so
Yeah,
to speak.
100%. Like I feel like we've all been chasing that escape a little bit. And I think romance novels really provide that escape. And that's why I read them. It's why I write them. I
Hmm.
love to disappear from the world for a little bit and just I love that romance novels, rom-coms especially, can just be so out there,
Mm.
like so outlandish. Like, how
Yes,
often are you going to come across a clause in a contract that says you need a boyfriend? Like, it's not going to happen.
that's
But I
right.
love that. I love the ridiculous because
Hmm.
that is the escape. Is
Yeah,
that, oh my gosh, I can pretend for a few hours that this could happen. And I think
yeah,
it's fun. So I
yeah,
do think we have
absolutely.
been chasing that. And I hope we continue to chase it.
Well, that's certainly
Yeah.
the feel I get from talking to a lot of readers
Yeah.
from that point of view, where they just want that escape. I just
Yeah.
want to just chill for a couple
You
hours.
want to chill.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. That's what books are for, aren't they?
Oh, absolutely.
Ah, we love it.
So what is your writing day like when you're
Oh,
when you're writing a book?
well, I have a day job as well. So if it's a day job day, I do try to write before I work. So if
Mhm.
I'm working from home that day, I'll try to squeeze in
Nice.
an hour or so.
Mhm.
If I'm drafting, it's a lot easier because I can just like get in 5 minutes, no sweat, and pump out words. When I'm editing, it's a different story. But drafting, yeah, it'll tend to be, yeah, before work. And then once I log off the day job, I'll like jump on for another like 20 minutes and knock out some words. And then I
Nice.
basically spend a lot of my weekends doing it.
Hmm.
I'm very just like, I know I need to go hard at the moment.
Hmm.
And I really just don't want to let the foot off the pedal at the moment. So
Yep.
I'm just like, you
Yep.
know what? We can work 7 days a week at the moment. It's
Mm.
not always going to be like this, but we can do it at the moment. And
Oh,
I love
wow.
it. Like, if I didn't love doing it, I wouldn't do it.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep. So when did you know you wanted to be a writer?
Oh, since I was a kid, I was that kid that was always like writing stories and songs and poems and
Mhm.
making my siblings act out in plays that I'd written. Like that was all I was doing. And then in high school, I was just like, I don't really want to go to uni, but I feel like I have to go to uni, but I'm going to sit in my room and write stories instead. And so I started doing that. And I did go to uni. I lasted a full semester and then I quit because I wanted to write. But I had to get a job, so I went out and got a job, and yeah, just really have been chasing this dream.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
And so do you find that you get new ideas pop into your mind n- even more now that you've
Constantly,
that you've
yeah.
published?
Yeah, yeah, I do. I'll just get like random thoughts or something. So I have like individual folders on my computer for all these new story ideas that I've got. And yeah, I just love it. Or there'll be like a random note on my phone where it's just like a snippet of conversation. Or I saw somebody on the train the other day doing something and I was like, oh my God, yeah, that's gone in the story. Like that 100% is going on in story.
Hmm.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
we're out there observing. We are
Yeah.
watching everybody.
Yeah, people don't
Yeah. They
realize
don't
I'm on
realize.
the train
Yeah.
watching people.
Yeah, yeah. I'm not staring out the window. I'm watching a reflection of someone. We're not creepy.
I love that. Well, when you said that you've got some little connections with
Yeah.
family that come through in your
Yeah.
book, was there anything in particular that you thought, oh, I can't put that in?
No. It was fair
Really?
game. Everything was fair game. They didn't know that. They didn't read the book until it came out. So yeah, I was like, here you go.
So no one even read
No.
a draft?
No, no one in my family read it until the book came out. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, was that a real secret? Like,
No,
were you as a secret, or they knew it was happening?
no, they knew it was coming. And I
Okay.
did say to them, like, "Oh, it's about a family. And, I've put little things, you're going to see little things throughout. There's nothing bad about them. Like, none of the characters are based on any of my siblings. But there's just little things like, there's a grade 5 whale project that gets mentioned. We all did a grade 5 whale project. And there's just little things like names that I've used that are like tributes to grandparents, or, Sabrina's sister is a star debater. My sister was a star debater. We're highly competitive. The Fogartys are highly competitive. So it's little things like that. Yeah, and like stamp collecting gets mentioned, and a type of jam gets mentioned, and that has meaning. So there's all those little things throughout that, yeah, are just, yeah, nice for them to spot. Yeah.
I really liked the father character.
I adore him.
Yes, when he
He's
pops
so
up, just
sweet.
and his little obsessives, his little
Yeah,
quirks that I just thought,
yeah,
yeah, yeah,
yeah. He
I
was
can
a
see this.
sweetheart. Yeah, yeah. So he was kind of based on one of my grandfathers who was just obsessed with his garden.
Oh,
And so
lovely.
yeah, it was really nice to just have that in there. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a
Any
real yeah, I think this book is really quite personal for me.
anyone you didn't like writing then?
I loved writing every single character. I adored them all. Like, I actually miss them because I'm
Yeah.
not with them every day anymore. And so it's actually
Mhm.
quite sad. I'm like, oh, I just want to hang out with them again.
You can always bring them back in a sequel with one of the other
Well,
ladies.
not yeah. I mean, look, book 2 might have some familiar faces.
Hey.
Just say that. Yes, there might be.
Yeah, I love it. I do want to talk about how your publishing journey all came about.
hmm
How, so you said your agent, so you went out on submission.
Yep.
How long did it take before you heard anything?
So in the US, we were out on sub. I think it was about 6 months. It was actually really quick this time around. And we were getting really, really, really positive rejections. Like they were, I know, I don't know what's
Rough.
worse, just getting rejected or getting like a positive rejection.
Mm-hmm.
But they would like gush about it and be like, it was so funny and the voice was so great and blah, 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 blah. And then there would just be a tiny little thing that would just be like, yeah, but this is the reason why. I'm like, okay, great. We were kind of just finding that in the US, they were really just wanting like it to be perfect off the bat. And so that was
Interesting.
kind of, yeah, a little bit disheartening. Like there was a rejection that read like a 5-star review. And then it ended up being a rejection. I was like, oh my gosh, that
Did they
like that.
actually provide if you change this, if you updated
Yeah,
this, or that
they
kind of detail?
no, they just kind of like did the whole like gushing about it and then gave a note as to why they were saying no. And it was a no that it easily could have been fixed. So to this day, I'm still like, why didn't you just
Yeah.
anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway, it ended
Yeah.
up working out for the best because I
Mhm.
was sitting there and I was like, you know why it probably felt like it went quicker? Because I didn't have a big connection to it. I kind of felt this big distance. And I think that was when I realized that I wasn't actually chasing the American publishing dream anymore. And I
Interesting.
feel like
Okay.
that was such an eye-opening discovery for me
Uh-huh.
to be like, hold on, that's not my be all and end all anymore.
Yeah.
It used to be. But for
I-
some reason, this book, I was like, I wanted it to be released in Australia. I really wanted, so my dad had gone through some health issues while I was working on it.
Mhm.
That's, probably why I cling to this book so much. Like it really was my escape to work on this while we were going through that. And it just sort of got to the point where I was like, I want my dad to walk into a bookstore and see it. And there's no guarantee with a US publishing deal that that will happen.
Yeah.
And he's never going to be traveling over to the US again. So it was just very, very important to me that that happened. And I think once I realized that, and I was just like, oh my gosh, I want it to come out here. It was just, yeah, it just felt like a weight off my shoulders, honestly.
Flip that switch.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely. And so my agent couldn't submit here. So yeah, I
Oh,
did it myself. Yeah.
Wow, really? So
Yeah.
it actually wasn't submitted through your agent?
No, I was a slush pile author.
Wow. So how did
Yeah.
that go?
That was great. So
How did you get
how
how
did I
did
get through? I
how did that
don't
happen?
know.
Yes, tell me
So
more.
I sent it off and
Hmm.
I sent it out to a few publishers here, but I
Hmm.
sat on my submission to text publishing. So text
Really?
publishing was my number one.
Hmm.
And I thought if I get rejected from others, yeah, I mean, it sucks, but it's not going to destroy me. If I get rejected from text,
Hmm.
that might destroy me. That might be the one rejection that I'm just like, okay, we're done. Like, we
Oh,
cannot do this anymore.
really?
And so I sat on that submission. I remember telling my author buddies, I'm like, I just, I can't do it yet. And
Hmm.
I worked up the courage and I sent it off. And a few weeks later, got an email from the admin assistant in their office to
Okay.
be like, read the first few chapters. Can you send the
Mhm.
whole thing? And I was like, oh my God,
Hey,
oh my God. Oh, I freaked out. It was a
that's a
Tuesday.
great
I was sitting,
response.
I just logged off from the day job and I saw the email and I was like, oh my God. So I
Wow.
spiraled
Yeah.
hard. And I panicked. I was like, oh my God, I don't know how to send a full. How do I send a full? It's been years since I've sent a full. I don't know what that means. So yeah, there was a major freak out. And then I
Hmm.
sent it off, expecting that it was going to take 6 months
Yeah.
probably because we
Yeah.
were in October at this point. We were nearing Christmas. Everything shuts down at Christmas. But
Yep.
yeah, no, a week later,
A week.
a week, I was in the office. Yeah,
Did you
in
get a
the
phone call
city.
or an
No,
email?
it was an email, and I was sitting all by myself because no one in my team was in that day. So I was sitting in the corner of an office, and an email popped up, and it did that whole, really loved your book, and I was looking for the but.
Yeah.
When you see the
Yeah, of course.
but,
Yep.
we're
Yep.
not interested,
Hmm.
and I didn't see a but.
Mm.
And I was like, oh my God, there's no but. There's no but. So I had to open it again. I read it so many times, and it was from
Hmm.
my lovely editor, Jane Pearson.
Oh,
And
amazing.
I just lost it. I was just like, oh my God, she wants to meet with me in person. And we ended
Oh,
up meeting on the Monday before Melbourne Cup Day, which
wow.
burned into my
Memorable. So
brain
you're
because I
going to
was like,
remember all of these details forever.
literally, I was like, I went into the office and nobody went in that day and the city
Yeah.
was dead. And I
Yeah.
was
No
like, oh
one
my
goes in.
God. Yeah. I was like, dedicated. I didn't tell anyone at work why I was going in. I'm like, oh my God, look at me. I've only
Wow.
been here a few months and I'm in here on a Monday before Cup Day.
Walk up to no one goes in.
Dedicated. Yeah. They're like, oh, she's dressed up. No, no, no.
Oh.
And yeah, went in, met with her, and we had an offer. Like it
Oh,
was
that's
just a massive pinch me moment. It was
amazing.
so, yeah, but yeah, slush pile. And basically, I've since found out. So what techs do is, I think it's every Wednesday,
Hmm.
they gather in the boardroom and they go through all the submissions that have come through, and they'll kind of like pop their initials next to it,
Okay.
to see who's going to read it. And so
Oh,
again,
wow.
it's just luck. Like
Yeah.
my editor saw mine come through and was like, well, that title sounds cool. And she grabbed it and it just ended up being the right editor at the right time.
Wow. I
So
love
yeah.
hearing slush pile
Yeah,
stories.
I know.
It
So
just gives
do
you heart.
I. It does. It gives you hope. It
Yeah.
gives you hope that they are actually being read. So I can guarantee that your books are being read in the slush pile. Yes,
So
if you had an agent, it might have gotten ahead, but the beauty of the Australian publishing industry is that you
yes,
don't necessarily need one to get your book
that's
read.
that's absolutely fantastic. And that's
Yeah.
really good advice as well
Yeah.
for all of us authors out there that do
Yeah.
submit
Do it.
to slush
Submit.
piles.
Yeah, it
Yes.
happens.
I actually did a speed dating
Oh.
through with text and
Oh.
didn't get through, unfortunately.
Oh
Well,
no.
they requested the first couple of
Yeah.
chapters, so I'm
Yeah.
still taking that as a win.
Oh, absolutely. It's a win. That's a huge win. That's a
So
massive
that's
win.
my big claim to
Oh
fame
my
of
God,
getting
yes.
3 chapters in with a speed dating. But yes,
Yeah.
so
Yeah. It's
it
huge.
is you
Yeah.
get those emails and you think,
Hmm.
am I seeing what I'm seeing?
Am I? I thought I was hallucinating.
Mm.
Yeah.
So,
But
okay,
it
so
was
your
just,
editor contacted you.
yeah.
So, did you get the good old edit letter back where you get 10 pages of love it, but did you
No.
have that big edit letter come
It
through?
wasn't a big one. So when I went in and met with her, she kind of let me know like her vision.
Hmm.
I agreed with it. I was like, yep, done, sold. And then yeah, she did send through an edit letter. I think it was like 2 pages, maybe 3. Like it really wasn't that intensive. Yeah. I feel like because we'd had that conversation beforehand as well. And so it didn't feel as daunting because we'd had that time and I'd had that time for that information to sort of soak in and for me to be like, oh, okay, I think I know where I can go from here. But yeah, it really was just like fleshing out the beginning a bit. So they were home longer before they flew overseas.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, so it really wasn't anything major, which was so lovely. And I feel like maybe it's because I'd gone through a structural with my then agent, so we'd kind of already done one.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's probably why. I will say my edit for book 2 has been a lot more intensive.
No, that's really good. I do want to point it because we have a lot of writers and particularly new I want to write writers that listen to the podcast. And we do try and break it up with the realism and what to expect and all of those sorts of things. And so even though they've accepted your book, you know it's going to be published there. They're telling you it's going to be published. Then they come back and they still want changes.
Oh, there's still changes. I can't imagine that there would be any author who doesn't have some form of an edit. So we did the structural edit and then we did the copy edit. And in that copy edit, we cut 9,000 words.
Wow.
Yeah, it turns out I overwrite. So
it's hard to cut. It's hard to cut words.
It's really hard, but you know what? It worked. And because my editor was saying, oh, you don't have to accept every single one of my suggestions.
Okay. Yeah. So she actually said that's
she did say that, but I think it
brilliant.
was like she was like, oh, if you find that you're disagreeing with 80% of them, then we've got a problem.
Okay.
I was like, okay.
That's really good advice.
Yeah.
Really
so you do have more of a say than you actually think you do. But I agreed with everything. I think there was 2 things that I didn't agree with. Literally two things out of the entire copy edit. And that was it. Like
that's a really good experience to come away with it as well. And for those that are listening, is that you can push back on some things.
Absolutely. You can absolutely
Maybe
push
not
back.
things.
Yeah. Like we had to change my title. And
really?
So, because it was originally called The Book Boyfriend. And there was another book coming out in the US with that title. And so we had to change it. And I remember when she told me, I was like, oh, okay, no dramas. Like it didn't faze me. Like if she told me to change a character's name, I would have been like, no, that's not happening. But a title or anything else, I'm actually pretty easily about it all. There's very few things that I would be like, no, I'm not doing that. Because I literally pick your battles, but I think I've just been doing this for so long and I've written so many books that I've just gotten so comfortable with killing all of my darlings. So there's never anything that I'm going to be like, this is the hill I'm going to die on. Like it's just, I'm not going to do that. And if you with the right editor, that's actually never going to happen to you because you're not, they're signing you because they like your voice, they like your story. And
I wonder if that's also your 17-book history coming through there too.
I think so. Like I've just learned how to let go of things, which I'm a control freak. So the fact that I can do that is just huge. And I don't like change.
Not sure how. Wow. And you're a writer.
I know. I was like, oh my gosh, I must hate myself. Yeah.
That almost seems to be the most anxiety driven.
It is.
As an author.
And I'm a highly anxious person. Like I have actually been diagnosed with anxiety. So I'm like, why am I doing this?
It's not an easy job to have.
It's not. It's really, really hard.
I say there's no control. There's a lot of control in the sense of when you're writing and it's your book.
Yeah.
But once it goes to someone else,
it's gone. It's out of your hands. You just have to let go. It's so hard. I'm not saying it's an easy thing to do. Like it has taken me 20 years. But I do think having that book of mine that died on sub for 2 years. Like I always say that was like the young adult book of my soul. Like I was so deeply attached to that book, and having that be rejected was the most soul crushing thing ever. And I feel like I went through something with that. And so I think from that point, I was just like, oh, okay. No, I've come out the other side of that. And I feel like that might have been like the worst thing in my writing life to have happened to me. So if I made it through that, where that book still is just like tucked away on my laptop, and I think about it constantly, but I'm like, it's just,
Do you think you'd ever revisit?
I would need to rewrite like big chunks of it, because that was set in the US, had US characters. If I was going to redo it, I would want it here. But yeah, that would involve a massive rewrite. But yeah, I had like readers who read those drafts being like, oh my God, I still think about that one. I was like, too.
Oh, so that makes me feel like one day, watch this space, we'll have you back so we can talk all about it.
Yeah, I'll dust it off and we'll see.
So once you got through the editing phase, how long did it then take for you for it to be published, but also how were the steps leading into that? Were you being consulted on covers and typesetting or anything, or was that all primarily done out of your control?
Yes, and that was all primarily done by text. So I had an idea in my head for what I thought my cover should be. To this day, I say I am very glad that they never asked for my opinion, because I think my cover is just perfect.
I love your cover.
But I just got an email in my inbox. They were like, hey, we've got the illustration for your cover. And I was like, oh my God, oh, okay.
Yeah.
And I opened it up and I was like, oh my God, I'm obsessed. And I only went back with like 2 changes. I was like, can you put his watch on him, and can he have some books next to him on the table? They were the only things to me that were just like, they have to happen. And they did that, and then they sent it back with the colors, and I'm like, it's very millennial coded. I love all the green. I'm like, so it just felt on point. It was so perfect. And again, this just goes to show that if you are working with the right editor and the right team,
you've got the same.
You've got it. Like I have so much trust and faith in my editor and in the team at Text. I think like the second I had my like meeting with Jane, I just walked out of it and I was like, oh yeah, no, I'm in good hands. We're good.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Like I would, follow her off a cliff. Like she's so brilliant. She tells me to do something. I'm like, okay, Jane, I'll do it.
So has she lined you up for potentially any more? Is there any, if you write something else, send it our way chatter?
Yes. So book 2 is releasing next year.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. So my structural edit on that is due next week.
Ooh, you should be writing.
Yeah. I'm not stressed at all, at all. It's totally in hand. But yes, as I was saying, like that was a more intensive structural. Like that, we had a lot of pacing issues. But again, they got sent, like I sent my editor a very early draft of it. So I was expecting that there was going to be a lot to fix.
A little bit different from submitting when you've worked on it so much to just send us what you've got.
Well, exactly. Exactly. And I think when we send that first one to them, like it's polished. You've sent it out to so many readers. Like you've poured over those first 30 pages or whatever, like so much. And then, your next one, you just go, whatever, here you go. Here's an early one. There's typos, whatevs. Like it's totally fine. So that's the way publishing works. Like I had to send them in my mind, I was like, I have to send it to them before book 1 comes out. That was a goal I set for myself.
Oh, okay.
And so I did that. I got the offer before book 1 came out, which was lovely. So
amazing.
So that was great. But yes,
as you say, when you've got one on that shelf, so to speak, you need to be working on the next.
You do 100%. So I'm kind of really looking forward to sending book 2 in next week so that I can start working on my next one. Which I don't have a deal for. So the deals with Text are 1 book offers, but they have an option on the next one. So once I draft it, I'll send it to her. And
well, that's fantastic. And how long from submission to book came out?
For boyfriend
Yeah.
clause. So we signed the contract December 2020. I always get my years wrong. December 2024.
Oh, wow.
And then it came out March
Okay.
2026.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It was a case of like, it was just like radio silence for so long. And then it just went bang, bang, bang. Like it was so quick. And so once we were in like the copy edit stage, there was just a flow of just everything happening at once. It was like the copy edit was happening, the cover was coming in, and then Jane did the typesetting for me. We did multiple proofreads. And then, you're working with your publicist and the marketing team, and you're talking about, launches and events and stuff. So it really was just like the quickest 18 months of my life.
How did your debut book launch go?
It was so much fun.
Yeah.
I almost didn't turn up. I almost bailed because I was so nervous.
Really?
Yeah. I was
Bridie.
my sister drove me, and I'm like, if she hadn't driven me, there's a very good chance I might have bailed because I was terrified. I'm not a public speaker. Like, it terrified me.
Oh my
And
gosh.
I was so scared, and I was just like terrified that no one was going to turn up.
Oh no.
And it was at Readings Chadstone.
Oh
And I
wow,
turned
that's
up.
huge.
Yeah.
Big
And there
stop.
was so many people, and it was so lovely. And Holly Brunbauer was the one who interviewed me, and she was the one who read my first draft. So Holly's debut rom-com, What Did I Miss, came out last July. And so that was lovely. I think it helped having a friend beside me up the front. But now I love doing events. It's so weird. It was like I needed to get through that one, and I'm just like, I absolutely love doing them. Yeah.
It's the no expectation to now I know what.
Now I know what to do. And you're
Mm.
talking about something that you love and that
Yes.
you're the expert on, like it's your book.
Yes.
That's your brain there. So
We want to know how you did it.
if you can't talk about it, then there's something wrong.
Well, then, what advice would you have for our listeners and people that are watching on YouTube? And what's that advice that you give them? They want to write, I want to be published, I'm driven to be published.
Yeah.
What do you tell them?
Honestly, just don't give up. Like, you may get some of the most soul-crushing rejections or some piece of feedback that could absolutely cripple you. Let it, more than that, sit in that, let yourself be sad, let yourself be pissed off, let yourself rage about it for however long that you need to. I certainly have. But then you pick yourself up and just keep going. You work on something new. And I think you've got to get to that place where you can put something aside because it's not working or it's not going to be the one. And yes, that does suck. Like, I have so many manuscripts on my computer that I love that I just weren't going to be the one. And that is sad. Like, I still think about all of those books. I still think about all of those characters.
You spend so much time in them.
You do spend so much time in them. But I just think once you can do that, and once you can move beyond that, you'll be fine. Honestly, just don't give up. Like, it's the biggest piece of advice is just do not give up. If you want it, God, be as annoying as I was and stick with it for 20 odd years. You'll get there.
I absolutely love that advice. That is really good advice. So where can people find you online, Bridie?
So I am on Instagram. I live on Instagram, probably annoyingly so. I'm always in my stories. So I'm on there as Bridie Blake. And then I am also on Facebook as author Bridie Blake. And then I've got my website, bridieblake.com. And I lurk on TikTok. I don't post on TikTok. I watch cooking videos and cat rescue videos. I mean, I've put on the odd video, but it's just not that. I feel like that's my like zone out happy space. I just watch videos. Yeah, it's not work. Like, I just sit there and I'm like, oh, look at these people cooking. Aren't they clever? I can't do that. Yeah. That's what I do on TikTok.
Oh, that's fantastic. Well, thank you so much
thank
for your
you.
time chatting today. It feels like this hour is absolutely
It's flown
by.
It really has. And I
Yes.
like you've made it so just easy. Yeah, it
It
was
helps
such a
when
joy to chat
it's
to you.
such a fun book to
Oh,
read, to
thank
escape
you.
into. I'm ready. I'm waiting. I know book two's coming.
It's
I'm now
coming.
waiting.
I don't know when. Next
Is,
year.
can you at least give me a hint? Is there another just, don't tell me what it is, but is there another out there moment like the intro scene to the boyfriend
Not
clause,
as
please?
out there, but I think
Okay.
there is an intro scene that, yeah, I think it's a little bit of fun. I think, yeah, it was something that I could just like very clearly visualize. I was like, oh yeah, this is my opening scene. But yeah, I am really excited about this one. This is yeah, this one's very special.
And this is another rom-com?
It is another rom-com. It
Yep.
is another rom-com. So you will see some familiar faces from the boyfriend clause pop in.
Excellent.
Yes, our main character may have made an appearance in the boyfriend clause. So yeah, that's my little
Okay.
tie-in. I love a tie-in book. So I
Yes,
love when there's little like it's in the same universe. It just brings me
yes,
joy.
same universe. And being
So
Melbourne book,
yeah,
there's
exactly.
so
I always
much
feel
to
like
joy.
there's so much. So I always say like Jodie McAllister is the queen of like the little like
Yeah.
yeah same universe books. So I was like, oh my God, I'm so gonna do that. So yes, very excited about it. So early to mid next year, I believe, is when it will be
Fantastic.
releasing.
We will be watching this space closely. Once again, I would like to thank the amazing Bridie Blake, author of The Boyfriend Clause, and thank you for your time tonight, for joining us
Thank
on
you
the
so
podcast, and
much.
hopefully we will get to talk to you soon.
Hopefully, thank you so much for having me.
Thanks, Bridie.
Well, thank
Yes.
you, Bridie Blake. What a
Yes.
hilarious interview.
Oh
I mean, that is just
my God.
gorgeous, isn't it? I mean, she is delightful. Large family, everything's fair
Yep.
game. She's got Easter eggs in there about her family.
Yep.
17 books before this one.
Amazing. And that was what I loved talking to Bridie about, because this is her debut book. This is her first book that's been published. But the amount of work that goes into
Mm,
being an author, and
yes.
the books that you churn out before you get to that point, is it shows the hard work
Yeah.
from those who really want to write for a
Yes.
living. That's what we do. And
Yes.
yeah, 17. Whew.
That is amazing. Yep. Persistence. She's a people watcher.
Yeah.
And this was a slush pile story, which is fantastic.
Which again, I love to hear, and that's why I got so excited talking with Bridie, because it's like, see, it does.
It
You
does
you can
work.
get found on the slush pile.
Yeah. You just have to persist. And look, there is lots of help out there. So go to courses like, Alan Baxter to get your
Yeah,
fights
yeah,
written correctly, write the fight
right, the
right.
fight, right. See,
Right.
it's
Yeah.
Alan.
But yeah, so many helpful people and generous people and authors happy to share. Get on some newsletters like Amy Kaufman's. The fabulous Ali Marnie writes great stuff, about crime, and I love her stuff as well. So anyway, lots of, and it doesn't have to be just Australian writers, but we are focused on celebrating and supporting Aussie writers. So that's what we are about. So thank
Yes,
you again,
indeed.
Bridie Blake. So watch this space. I am sure we're going to see more from her
Oh
very
yeah,
soon.
yeah, absolutely. And speaking of Alan Baxter, to bring back my buddy, because clearly connected, but
Yeah.
but you do need to get a hold of his book. And I was actually going to quote a little bit from his presentation that he was doing in talking about fighting. So particularly about adrenaline and emotion, because this was something that I probably don't remember a lot when I'm writing my fight scenes, and it was a good reminder. So when adrenaline dumps, so basically a person is about to get into a fight, they have an adrenaline dump. This is something's happening. When adrenaline dumps, a person's fine motor skills go out the window. Their vision narrows, affecting their use of peripheral vision, and their memory is shot. So you get more flailing, you get more slapping, falling over things, all sorts of things, because if you're not and for those characters that are not a trained fighter, it's going to be messy. And it was a really good reminder of that, of, you know what? No, even your characters who are not fighters, or even the ones that are fighters, it's not always going to be a perfectly choreographed fight. It's going to get dirty and it's going to be messy. So it was a really good reminder for putting that sort of information in your books as well. Where it's like if someone's fighting, they're just trying to get out of that situation. So
Yeah.
it was a really good
Yeah.
reminder.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah.
And I love it when people look at the bodies and they understand physiology, they understand anatomy and those
Yes.
kind of things, because it's somebody with a little bit
Yep.
of health background. It frustrates the
Of course.
out of me.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
yes, no, great. That's a great
Yeah.
help. Good. Thank
Yeah.
you. All right.
There you go.
I've got a quote from one of our own Australian romance writers, Sandy Barker, during an interview she did with Pauline Yates, another one of our fabulous writers who's a horror author, but she does have a great blog, Pauline. So Sandy says, and this was at a time when she was thinking about giving up, no one is going to hand this to me. If I want it, I have to work at it and never give up. And that is just absolutely spot on. I think after, we listened to Bridie, who just persisted, had she listened to those voices early on, she would have gone, oh, forget it. But she just
I'll
went,
stop.
no, bugger that. This is what I want to do. I'm going to do it.
Yep. Yeah.
Which
I
is
think
fantastic.
that was really what came through there, and also reminded me a bit of myself when you have an early feedback, early comment that says, "No, you're not gonna be doing this." Excuse you. I will.
Yeah. Yes. I remember the first person I had who did some coaching for me with writing, and I said I wanted to write a fantasy series, and she went, "Oh no, I don't think that's what you've got. I think you'd be writing, because I'd written, I'd been practicing writing by writing up. I think I've said this to you before, the journal that I wrote to, my daughter who passed away. And so it ended up being, a memoir. We've talked about that, but I didn't write it for other people, but this was just to sort of get myself into the swing of it. And she goes, oh, no, I don't think you'll write fantasy. And I thought, oh, yes, I will.
Good.
And I have.
So,
So, yes.
have.
So one's out.
Exactly.
Second one's
Yeah.
just going through the last stages before I get brave enough to send it to some beta readers. And, I've got another science fiction one. So, and written some short stories. So, watch this space, people. Just watch all of our authors persist. And when you look on things like Threads and Blue Sky, and you see the authors who are talking about they're having a bad day, and all the other authors will jump in and say, you're okay, hang in there, keep it going, or give yourself a rest, or try this, the
Such a
creative
supportive
process
Yeah.
is such a communal thing, individual but a communal thing. And how can AI just take that? Anyway, we've talked about that. That's enough.
Yes. Anyway, we're going to leave on a good note.
We are going to leave on a good note
Not a cranky one.
because no cranky. So don't forget that romance is happily ever after or happy for now. So yes, put smiles on dials. Which
Yes,
is brilliant.
and read a romantic comedy because it's just funny. It takes you
Yes.
out of the real world and
Yes,
gives you a good laugh.
it does give you a good laugh.
Yeah. Good on
all
you,
of those
Bridie.
things. And I must admit, I like a little bit of urban fantasy, romancy stuff with a bit. That's if I just need something really light to read. Throw in a few witches or a few
Yes.
werewolves or whatever, and I'm yours.
Yep. Bring it on.
Bring it on. All
Yes.
right.
All right.
Laurie, we
Yes.
have to remind people to read
more
Aussie
Aussie
books. Thanks, everyone.
now.
Bye for now.
Let's meet again. Where magic happens.